Hey, how we doing? And welcome in to the Bobby Carpenter Show. It is a Monday following improvement week. The Buckeyes had a little bit of a bye. They got Michigan State here coming up. I believe, Schlegel, that's going to be a 7:30. Not Michigan State. They have Marshall coming up. What am I
noon,
talking about?
big noon, baby.
Big noon coming to Columbus. Now, I'm not here to besmirch the Buckeyes, and I'm excited that Marshall is going to be here. I'm excited for the game. I'm excited the big noon's coming here. I'm kind of amazed, Schlegel, that we could not find a better game out there in the ether than Marshall, Ohio State. Like, that's not besmirching the Buckeyes. That's not besmirching the Thundering Herd. But I don't understand how there couldn't have been a bigger game scheduling-wise this weekend to kind of get some things rolling.
Considering the fact that you had Illinois, Nebraska, which is a big game in the Big Ten. You have SC coming to the Big House. You know, you have Utah, Oklahoma State, right? Obviously, Tennessee, Oklahoma. Like, you got some like, – honestly, looking at the slate, like, you got a good slate of games. And then you're going to go take that one. Now, I understand why eyeballs on it. Bob, you brought up a great point about this because guess what? I listen to Morning Juice as well because I love your takes, and you were on there today with Tito and, of course, Mark DeShart countdown his day, 198 days to retirement. Boom. And he out. But anyways, he's the best. So you made great points, right? It's not necessarily the eyeball markets, but it's also the brands and the SC brand. I would love to see the data analytics about the SC brand being a blue blood brand in the Midwest and the South, like, because I still view them that way. And based on how they've been able to handle their business early in the season, I think they're on the come up. That's why they're ranked 11th.
Well, they are. And they're just recognizable. Like, they're a brand that you've seen. Right. And, you know, people that are our age remember when we were in college when they were iconic and great. Now it's been probably 10 years since they were at that level, and they were one of those elite programs, or even in that conversation. But maybe they're starting to trend back that way. They've got the explosive offense. They've had a Heisman Trophy winner. Now they just need that defense to keep coming along, and Lynn has them going in a good direction. So I think that's moving the right way. But, yeah, you look at these iconic brands. I mean, whether it's the USCs, the Nebraskas, the Miami, Notre Dame, like Texas, like college football, and some of these brands have not been at the top here in a while. And Notre Dame's been kind of omnipresent, but never in an elite, like truly elite status. But, you know, Miami's struggled. Texas has been struggling. USC has been struggling. And it's great to see all of them. And Nebraska has struggled mightily. Now, Nebraska isn't quite maybe as back as them, but maybe they could be. And we'll see if, you know Burt Bielema as well as anybody. We'll preview some of these games as we get going, but that could be a big matchup.
Huge.
I personally want to see an undefeated Nebraska team coming to Ohio State because I think that will garner a ton of national attention. And I think there'll be a top 15 team at that point in time, be 5-6-0, and that'll be maybe 7-0. That'll be a big game. So that would be great. But without Ohio State on Schlegel, crux of what we want to get to. No Buckeyes. A little bit different weekend. I kind of enjoy it for one because you can sit there and just kind of watch games, click around. Right. I don't always have to watch this and then go back. And even if the game's decided, I want to see who's playing, how the young guys look, all of those different things. That wasn't the case. So we didn't have to worry about it. So how did we consume the games? What do we have going on?
Well, I flew back Saturday, and I actually did a charity event Saturday night called Discover Riders up in Bell Fountain, which was really good. They do a lot of stuff with kids that have any type of disability and riding horses and being able to just pet the horses, take care of the horses, and it was a fantastic fundraiser. So I did that Saturday. I consumed a lot of it. I also worked out. I watched a little bit. I like listening to it on the drives. Like I listened to the Oregon State game on the drive, and we'll break down that game more. And Oregon really took a step forward because why? They're rushing the football. I just I'm with you, Bob. I put the four game screen on. I saw your setup where you got 4 games going on this one, then you have another TV up here with another game. So you're just consuming stuff and you're flipping through the ones that are interesting. And that LSU one, I listened to that entire game and I actually caught the end of it. When I got in. So it was good. It was enjoyable. And then Sunday, I'm just doing farm stuff. I actually shot my bow. That was great at the farm. I was cutting up logs. I was like, you know what? I need to work out again. I worked out at the Armory on Saturday after the plane ride. Then I started cutting wood and
you're feeling soft, wood. Psychologically in your mind, Schlegel. Is there ever time, because this will happen to me where I'm like, gosh, I feel kind of heavy. I need to go run. Usually on Sundays, that's my deal. I'm going to go to the track, run a mile, and then sprint some 300s, do some walking. I just got to run this off. there's times where like, man, I feel like kind of skinny and small. Like, let's go get a little swole, get the soldiers on. Like, is that what you were feeling as you're just pulling your bow? Like, felt a little flaccid?
No, I mean, hey, the best part of waking up is soldiers in your cup, Bob. But that being said, I just wanted to get in the groove, and I had DC Arrows there. Hey, if you don't know them, look them up. They're out of Southeast Ohio. They make great arrows. But I just wanted to sight my bow in. It's a little heavier arrow. I wanted more penetration. Poof, David Copperfield, who doesn't? Slinging meat missiles. But that being said, I did that, and I felt great. So I'm like, man, I know me. Like, if I don't exert a lot of energy into things and like actually can like be tired, like I ain't going to bed. So I just tried. No, I don't.
Milligrams of coffee a day.
Well, that's true, but not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. No. Certain days I don't. Like
was
today,
that the Sabbath for the Lord? You like, I'm going to abstain from caffeine. I don't know.
I might just do a monster. I might do like a cup of coffee or two, right? No espresso in them, and then I'll drink maybe a monster to give me a little bit of pick me up, right? Now today I hit up my guy Tom Berry, CEO of Westside, and he was like, "Hey, let's get crazy." I was like, "Sounds great. We're doing this dynamic effort day, and we're doing it for time." We ended up breaking it down. We did 3,000 pounds a minute for like 39 minutes, and we did this entire deal. It was fantastic. I'm feeling super twitchy right now, but that's what I do. And guess what? I'm gonna work my absolute face off at the Armory. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna work on our show. I'm gonna do some hillbilly stuff, and then boom. 8:30, my head's gonna hit the pillow because I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do some running stuff tomorrow because I gotta feel it. Like you run, God bless you, man. Like you run 300s. I just want to be, twitchy and explosive and, Trayvon to be violent when called upon. You know what I mean? But you're a different animal. I don't know how you do it. I enjoy rucking, and actually, you'll like this, Bob. I dug a hole, and not to take a dump in, but I dug a hole and I had an old truck tire.
I like you had to clarify that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I knew where you were going with it. I saw the gears turning in your mind. Yeah. But I dug a hole and I just put the tire in it and I put the dirt back on, and I'm over there cutting up wood. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to like chop this wood. I'm going to stack it. And then I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to sledgehammer swing 100 times right, 100 times left. Then I'm going to go shoot my bow back. Pull my bow back and shoot it from 60 yards and see if I can just put them in the vitals after just being completely gassed. And I did that, and it was great, So, anyways.
So why did you have to dig the hole just to put the tire in? So
listen, I'm setting stuff up because I got like a little like makeshift rack out there right by the shooting target, and I got this big pasture that I absolutely love mowing. It's also AKA serves as my train station for varmints and stuff that I capture. But that being said. And I also have a shooting range out there, but I just wanted like equipment out there, but my mind just gets going. And it's like, I don't know what to do with my hands when I'm talking to you guys, which is why you like my hand gestures, So it was great. What a great weekend. Now I'm just ready to attack and dominate this week and start talking about Buckeye football.
Oh yeah. Get back into it. And it's tremendous. I know you got a lot going on, lots swirling in your mind, splitting some wood, chopping stuff up. And, it's tough because the more games I try to watch, Schlegs, the less I remember about all of them. Like I can consume more, but remember less. I can only functionally watch about 3 games at a time and still keep it all together. And if you think about it, like 3, maybe a 4th, 3 windows of games, like I'm getting between 8 and 10 games in a weekend. I told them by the end of the year, plus you get Friday nights, some NFL games. It's like I probably watch over 300 football games a year when it's all said. I mean, I'm not kidding you. That's no joke.
No, it's real.
Not a joke. But that, I mean,
good thing you love football.
I do love it, and Jim Harbaugh does. So does J.K. Dobbins. By the way, J.K. Dobbins leading the NFL in rushing, 266 yards. Awesome. So pumped for him. Like you said, he's really one of the great dudes that played at Ohio State. And like outside of being a great player, really just a great human being, one of my favorites. Yeah. So I'm so happy for him. We'll get him on the show here at some point in time. He's busy. He's probably getting hit up by everybody. He was on McAfee and everything else. So, but I watch them all. Just tonight, we got Philly and we've got Atlanta.
I'll watch it.
Philly, Atlanta. A little real bird battle going on tonight in Philadelphia. So that'll be a fun one. But I'm excited for Tuesday. I'm excited for Wednesday. Relax, chill out a little bit, and get moving forward. But excited for this weekend for the Buckeyes. But what else I'm excited for? Before we have Lathan Ransom here, because we got a Lathan. Oh, he's always ready to go here early. He's a responsible young man, as you would expect him to be. We'll let everybody know about X Sports mouth guards. We've been talking. So if you're a parent, you got an athlete out there, a son, maybe daughter, maybe you are an athlete yourself. You want to protect what matters most with X Sport mouth guards, trusted by professional athletes and designed by NHL team dentists. NHL team dentists, those guys lose their teeth more than anyone else. They're as qualified as you're going to find. The X Sport mouth guards are scientifically tested to absorb high impact hits, protecting both teeth and brain. They're tremendous there. The X Sport mouth guards have 3 layers of advanced protection, including patented use of carbon fiber, custom fit to your unique smile with 3D printed technology. Yeah. Folks, these aren't just the crappy ones that you buy out of the bag at the store and throw in there. They're going to take care of you at a high level. They just mean more. So they've got more protection, better performance, maximum comfort, better and clearer communication, so you can focus on the game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit xsportguards.com/Bobby. Save 15%. Again, taken care of here. We're in the middle of fall sports season. We still got winter sports. Make sure you get yours today. Protect what matters most. Lathan Ransom up next.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, it's our guy, Lathan Ransom, back from an improvement week. Had a couple days off here. Mr. Lathan, how do we spend that time? You said you're going to see your girlfriend a little bit, watch some games. How did that all go?
Yeah, so I definitely got to do both of those things. And it was nice to I was a true fan this weekend and got to, enjoy some football games, get mad at the refs, bad calls. And so it was fun, man, for that to get a different perspective.
Give us some games that you were watching, some things that you got mad at the refs or, just again, I think former players appreciate individual players more than we actually necessarily root for teams, because as you get older, you see in your dudes, right? Marvin Harrison got his first 2 touchdowns this week, right? And Paris, who lifted him up on his first touchdown at Ohio State, lifted him up for his first touchdown in the league. I thought that was really cool. Tell us about some of the things that you saw that really caught your eye, captured your attention over the weekend.
Yeah, so first I'll start, with the college games. Definitely got to watch the South Carolina game, LSU game. And, man, I think just from a point of some of the stuff, that Coach Dave focuses on, you really get to see it when you watch the games, as far as, discipline and as far as, it's like it's hard talking about other teams, but it's just discipline, clean tackling, the little things that you don't think about. You get kind of annoyed with, okay, Coach Dave, we get it, harp on this, on that, but you really see it as far as the discipline stuff and you got to finish teams. When you're up on teams, you got to finish them games and don't make your don't do something selfish that could cost the team, stuff like that, without really trying to nail on it. But I know it was a tough loss for them because I was watching that game and I wanted a certain team to win, but so that went good. And then I got to watch the Georgia-Kentucky game, which was a great game. And then the one play where at the end of the game, the Georgia guy fumbles and the Kentucky dude's not running to the ball to scoop it. So stuff like that is always just run to the ball, always stuff like that, that our defensive coach harps on. And then you get to see it real life in front of you. You're man, it does matter to run to the ball every play. It does matter to finish plays. So stuff like that. And then you got to see yesterday Marvin have a great game, Chris have a great game, Garrett, Jackson, all the receivers have great games, man. I got to see the Cleveland game a little bit. Got to see my boy Rocket play. and make some plays. And it's just, I texted Rock yesterday after he posted a video of him and his teammates celebrating. I'm like, man, there's nothing more like motivation than seeing my friends just be successful at the next level. So it was exciting to be a fan for once.
Yeah, it's nice. But like you said, on the other side of that, you're getting a chance now to experience the frustration of like coaches, getting the frustration one day when you're a parent and your kid's like not playing hard or not doing something, like, hey, listen, man, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Like, if you just do these things, you'll put yourself in the best chance to win. And that's what's so frustrating about coaches. And now that you're a veteran player, playing, in your 5th year at Ohio State, you see all of those things and you realize how important like those small little details are. And we're talking about huge games here, and the wins and losses like on the margin that can change your season. It's absolutely tremendous. So it's a big deal. So you said you watched some games. Now, you told us you were going down to get a chance to see your girlfriend. Did we get a chance to do that? Like, did we have anything special planned? 'Cause I know that you don't have a whole lot of time here to get together.
Yeah, so I went down there, caught her game on Thursday, and then was able to hang out. And I'm a big dude that my dad kind of taught me when I was young is I be on Yelp. And really into different restaurants. And I remember that on just certain weekends, my pops would take me and my family to like a real nice restaurant. So I kind of got that from him. So I got to take her to the restaurant. I think it's an Italian restaurant. I forgot the exact name. It had a vodka pasta dish. Man, like one of my favorite pastas I've had since I've been in Ohio. Really good. Got to do that. Got to hang out with her. Got to finish Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Man, she was mad at the end, and we're watching on her computer. And right when I'm sorry if y'all haven't seen Game of Thrones, spoiling it, but right when Daenerys dies from Jon Snow, she shut the computer and she was like, "You just wasted all them months for me watching this and that." So that was funny to hear her reaction, and it was hard for me to watch for a second time. But yeah, so I enjoyed my weekend.
Nathan, does she play volleyball?
She plays soccer.
Huh? Soccer?
Yes, sir.
How about, so tell us, I mean, obviously, so now you're watching soccer, completely different demand in a sport. What are some things that you appreciate? Because I think as you get older, and like Bob knows, as you have kids that play multiple sports, what's something that you appreciate from the game of soccer, but also female sports, the competitiveness that she has, because you're always in the bubble of being around dudes, like in football. Like, give us some of those things.
It's definitely different. It's definitely different, especially being around the way. The one thing I tip my hat off is being around her. She trains just as hard as I train, and she kind of has the same mentality as me. So I appreciate that, because I have been around. Because I had a younger sister growing up too. Some girls who don't maybe train as hard and aren't as competitive, but being around her, she's just as competitive, works just as hard. And then being around her sport, man, they run a lot. Like I always tell her, I don't know if I could last a whole game of soccer, just this constant running. That, and then the stuff that they can do with the ball with their feet. Like, I tried to dribble the soccer ball, and I tried to, oh my gosh, I have no idea. They almost, the way that they can control a soccer ball with their feet, man, is so impressive. So I'm always amazed when I go there and watch them make moves. But one thing I do appreciate from being at the soccer games is the communication. There's constant communication on your right, on your left, kind of when a player has the ball, kind of their teammate telling them where they're at or where defenders coming from. And that's stuff that I never noticed, from watching soccer on TV or the little soccer that I did watch before. So, I think it's nice to watch different sports and just see that the stuff that goes into it. Like Coach Dad said, always watch the best players at different sports. Like, you get to see how Steph Curry warms up for a basketball game, how the best golfers in the world, they go in there and their mindset. So I think that's one thing I appreciate, and I kind of try to go in there into soccer games and do the same thing.
So you see that communication. That's one thing that's always parallel, especially on defense. Offense, It's big, but especially in the secondary, you got a lot of checks, a lot of things going on. You just have a fairly complicated defense. I mean, the appreciation for that and the communication on the back end. I know a couple of years ago, maybe wasn't what it is now. I mean, what was that process like? You see great communication. I think you have great communication now, but understanding when it's not there, how difficult that can be.
Yeah, I think that's something I never appreciated, coming from high school. And then even in my early years of college till now, I remember in high school, there was no communication. The coach would make a call and no one even made a check. Everyone would just play the call. And to where now it's I have to talk to Denzel, IGB, Caleb, Jordan, every play. We're always kind of telling each other, and I try to harp on is just we should be talking every play. Linebackers should be talking to us every play, communicating what we're seeing, the different checks, the different formations. And so I think just knowing that now is every time I go into a game, even when I watch film, I communicate. When I watch film, I'll play a call. I'm making every check from every formation, all shifts. If they were to switch this, if they were to shift this way or shift that way, making the calls, making the checks, just knowing how important communication is. Like, I'm constantly trying to do it every chance I get.
Hey, as you're going through that, talk a little bit about your improvement week, because you said that you were going to go back and kind of do some self-introspection, self-scouting, right? How did that week turn out for you as you're trying to get better now that you face Marshall and you have this run, Marshall, Michigan State, right? Oregon, Iowa. Like, talk a little bit about how you approach this week and things that you made improvements on.
Yeah, so first of all, going into this week, I really try to look at, the different defenses we run. I try to see if there's any tells. So when I'm playing a certain coverage, am I tipping it to the quarterback? Like, if there's a quarterback watching it, what is he seeing from me? So I kind of just try to scout myself being someone that's going to play against me. And then second of all, I think what our offense did such a great job on is they ran all the beaters for certain defenses that we run. Like, they would know what coverage we're in, and they're giving us the toughest looks that we could possibly see. And I appreciated that because there were some looks that, man, I was seeing them for the first time. Like, man, this was in a game. This would be really tough to face. So I'm glad I got to see it now so that later, I know how to play it. And I think that's what helped a lot. And then we got to go in and compete with the offense at the highest level this week. We was going a lot of one-on-ones. And, I mean, it's nothing better than seeing, Trey and Quinshawn at running back kind of tackle them in the open field. And then obviously receiver and quarterbacks that we have, man, getting to see them and compete it was special.
It was pretty impressive there. I know getting into it, we had G on actually on Friday and talking a lot about what was going on that week, his journey here at Ohio State. And also, I mean, getting a little chippy because we're talking about being faith-based and how, you can still be tough and do all of those things. And I saw it out there on Thursday. I mean, you guys were getting back into it. And I believe it may have been you, Lathan, that was yelling at him to turn the other cheek and walk away, like using that against him there.
Yeah, that was me. I think that is always the challenge. Having a strong faith and being able to also, when you get on that football field, to not say something too crazy or go too far to where you're almost going against what you believe in. And yeah, it did get a little chippy on the field, and me and G were going back and forth, and I was reminding him, the type of guy he is now. So that is pretty funny that you got to see that.
It was tremendous. All right, we're going to take a quick break here before we get you out of here. We got more with Lathan Ransom coming up next.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
All right, welcome back in Lathan Ransom here into the show as we round up the segment with him. And Lathan, great improvement week, talks about what happened. Coming back in, like, how do you come off of a bye week? A lot of times people can struggle with that. Do you go too hard? I mean, making sure that you didn't play on Saturday, so it's kind of a weird feeling. What's the schedule like, and how do you kind of get back into that rhythm?
Yeah, so I think the schedule, our coach did such a great job. We kept the exact same schedule if we would have had a game. So in the past years I've been here, the bye week was almost harder than the game week. And I think this year, Coach Dace did such a good job of, we went hard last week, the days we would have usually went hard, and then keeping the same schedule that we would have had if we were to have a game. So I think that's what's nice. And then, as far as my mindset going into this game, I'm excited. I think I was getting antsy and itchy, watching some of the games this weekend, watching some players make plays. It made me want to get out there even harder because I want to be out there making plays with my team and enjoying my teammates making plays. So I can't wait to get out there and play again this weekend.
Hey, OG does something every Thursday, Thoughtful Thursday, and this week it was about vision over sight. Tell me how that, again, I love OG, man, because again, being a coach, it's all about developing you guys, not only as a player, but as a man, and how that can, carry with you in your life. Give me your feedback of vision over sight and what he talked about on Thoughtful Thursday.
Yeah, so first of all, I think OG does such a great job of, it's not always only about football. Like, he does a great job of, maturing us young men into men when we come to see him. And he's always, every Thursday and Friday, he drops us some knowledge, some nuggets. And I think if you really listen to him, you can really learn a lot. And like you said, for what he just spoke about, I think the biggest thing I took away from him is always kind of envision yourself before you do things. And I think visualization is something I learned. I forgot who I learned exactly from because I watched a podcast on it. But basically, is like late at nights before games or before practices, I'm always envisioning myself making the plays before it happens, making the plays. I just watched it, I forgot. But I just watched the podcast, funny. But I always try to envision myself making plays or being successful or how this year's going to turn out and kind of trying to manifest it into happening because I'm a big believer in manifestation. So, just trying to, with that and, my faith, just doing both those things just definitely helps me with my success down the line.
You talk about, Tim Walton, Schlegel affectionately calls OG out here. We play the Thoughtful Thursdays on Friday because you guys do them after practice. So on our Friday show, we throw them out there. Folks love them, try to get everybody inspired and get them going. But talk about the dynamic, Lathan, between, the corners and the DBs. You guys each have your own coach with Guerreri, focusing on the safeties. Tim's more the corners. You guys all have to communicate together. So I'm sure you break out in your separate meeting rooms. How much do you meet together and kind of what's that whole process like?
Yeah, so what's so special about our team is, we have a safeties coach and a corners coach, but we all meet together as one. So in the beginning of what might be the corners corrections. So Coach Walt will go through the corners corrections from the past practice or the past game. And then after that, Coach G will go through all the safeties corrections. And there's a lot of overlap on both of those anyways. So the safeties might get corrected while the corners are going. But what's so good is like as me as a safety, I'm watching maybe what a corner messed up on, but I'm also learning about his position or what his thought was, or maybe why he made this mistake. And it just helps us all, mesh together better. And we're also communicating to where we're all on the same page. And I think that's where in the past years when maybe we met separate or just in corners or safeties, when you go onto the field, since you were in different meetings, maybe you weren't taught the same, or maybe it wasn't the same language y'all were speaking. So now just all being on the same page, it flows so much better. So that's when we're able to communicate and play as fast as we can play.
Let's talk Marshall. And one, I absolutely love the way that they coach you guys in there because it does help knowing what the corners are doing because you as a safety have to understand the predicament that they're in, right? Just like us as linebackers, if a guy's getting double teamed, that's an awful place to be in. So I need to come downhill and take the double team off my guy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn those things from those guys. Let's start talking Marshall. Good things about Marshall. What are some things that you're noticing out of them coming in here week 4, your third game, coming to the shoe, big noon kickoff?
Yeah, so what's exciting about Marshall is their air raid offense. So this is going to be probably the first time that they run a lot of 10 personnel. And we've seen a little bit, but we haven't seen a lot of 10 personnel. So we get to go in there and really face 10 personnel because I think especially we're going to see it eventually this year. So I'm glad to see it early. I'll make some checks. The quarterback, he's a gamer. He'll scramble a little bit, scramble to make plays. So I'm excited to see him. They got some good receivers. I mean, y'all saw the one catch that was on ESPN. The one receiver caught it one-handed. So 6'4" dude, big catch radius. So get to see him. They got a fast slot. So they got an offense that, if you don't take them lightly, can put up some points. So, a new challenge for our defense, man. We're going in there really focused and excited for the new challenge.
So like you said, 10 personnel. For folks that don't know, the first number is number tight ends or number running backs. Second number is number tight ends. Receivers are implied. So 4 wideouts, 1 running back on the field. A little bit different than from Akron and Western Michigan. Lathan, where, they went in there, 18 passes in the last game, not pushing it down the field. How excited are you for that, being a safety, knowing there's going to be a lot of checks, maybe some up-tempo stuff? They're going to be throwing the ball every play. There's going to be a lot of action there in the secondary.
Yeah, so we're extremely excited. Me and Caleb were just talking the other day, who's going to get a pick this week or who's going to get a pick this weekend. So, going against a team, that throws the ball a lot, and we are BIA. That's how we see each other, as BIA. So with another opportunity for us to be challenged and us to show up, man, we're extremely excited.
Every time I go out, I got to show out Juicy J. How about this? What, from y'all's perspective, third year in Coach Knoll's defense, talk about, because I'm seeing guys like really gel together, and part of that is being veteran, but what do you think has been the difference from year one, year two, year three? Because I'm seeing dudes play fast and violent now. Is that because you're just understanding it better? Is it because you're just older in it? Is it because different coaches' approaches? Like, how have you taken away and grown from that? Because, I just love what we're seeing. You gave up 99 yards to Western Michigan. I think the week before it was like 150 or something like that. You less than 300 yards in 2 games, right? 3 turnovers, none last game. Talk a little bit about that and how you guys are able to play so fast.
Yeah, so I feel like it's been a little bit of everything. When Coach Knowles first got here, we was first introduced to the system, and we was all extremely young. And then as the years went by, I think as a players, we've learned the system really well. And then as the coaches, he's also critiqued the system and changed things or added things to get us to where it is now. So I think a little bit of, being older now, being able to play with each other for 3 years now. So then me, Jack, Denzel, we played together now for 3 years. So that makes a big difference. So just playing with each other for, 3 years now, knowing the system better, the coaches critiquing to where maybe the year before, like we gave up explosives in this area, or the year before we gave up explosives in this area, critiquing the defense to where it helps with those things. All that just coming together for this last year, man, I think it all helps us. And I'm excited to, we've had our first 2 games to keep it going, because I think that's what Coach Day did such a good job on, talking about yesterday is, don't be that team that we play a game and, man, I wish I would have coached this better. I wish I would have practiced this harder. Man, let's nip that in the bud now. Let's nip that in the bud now to where we're not wishing we would have did this or changed this, to where, man, we hit the ground running every game we play.
All right. Well, I believe, Lathan, was Rosie's Italian, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that was it.
All right. Well, we got Rosie's Italian. I'm glad you got to enjoy that with your girlfriend. Got to enjoy some time off. Getting back into it now. You got your off day, but you'll be back at it there for Bloody Tuesdays tomorrow. So excited for you there. Good luck against Marshall this weekend. Big noon kick. Eyes will be on you. So excited for you guys, man. You enjoy the rest of the week.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lathan.
And that is my man, Lathan Ransom, doing a terrific job, Schlegs, as always, when he joins us here on Mondays. And like I said, if you're watching, please like, subscribe, leave comments, questions, throw anything out there that you want us to answer. We'll get it to the guys. We'll do whatever. And so lucky to have him on. All right, coming up next, we've got our headlines. There's a lot of headlines in week 4, even though the Buckeyes, or week 3, even though the Buckeyes were off. Stay tuned here on the Bobby Carpenter Show. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bobby Carpenter. I want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Affinity Whole Health, the leaders in the testosterone replacement industry. I've been on a testosterone replacement program for a few years right now, and I've got to tell you, it's been an absolute game changer. Affinity Whole Health has allowed me to be the best version of myself, both mentally and physically. I loved how easy it was to get started. I booked my free consultation, met with my prescriber, checked my numbers, and Affinity Whole Health designed a program that was customized to fit my needs. So I'm telling you guys, if you have low energy, you want to get rid of that spare tire around the waist or take it to the next level in the bedroom, Affinity Whole Health is the place to get started. So don't wait any longer. 5 minutes of your time, book your free consultation. You're going to love the way you feel. All right, Schlegs, welcome in to Headlines. And Headlines, they're sponsored by my friends over at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity offers personalized treatments to help you feel better, whether you are suffering with weight loss, low energy, poor sleep, muscle loss, all of those things. Affinity, they are here to help you out. They do a great job. They can help you with all of it. I've been a patient for 7 years, folks. They provide expert guidance and support to help you safely reach your health goals. They've got Ohio covered, Cleveland, Columbus. They're out in Indy. They're in Chicago. They're everywhere. So go check them out at AffinityWholeHealth.com, AffinityWholeHealth.com, and set up your free consultation today. Do not wait any longer. All right, Schlegel, we got some headlines here coming in.
Do it.
Talk a little bit about the Buckeye receivers now in the NFL. My dude of the week last week, Marvin Harrison, said, why is he dude of the week? He only had 4 yards, 1 catch, whatever. I'm like, he's dude of the week because he had 4 catches or 1 catch for 4 yards. And there was no complaining. There were no issues. He wasn't out there yapping, complaining about this or that, throwing his quarterback under the bus. But I see this unbelievable graphic. I'm scrolling around, like scrolly on the phone, checking out. And I'm like, holy smokes. And you always kind of have an idea that the Buckeyes have a big day. So if you want to throw that little graphic up there about the Buckeye receivers just absolutely getting after it by my guy, I believe, Swish Vibes, if I'm not mistaken, Schlegs, I think that might be, or Swish Vibes, absolutely tremendous. But Marvin Harrison Jr. yesterday, 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 TDs. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 12 catches, 118 yards. No touchdown, unfortunately. Chris Olave, 7 for 88. Garrett Wilson, 4 for 66. Pretty darn good day for a set of young Buckeye wideouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason he was your dude of the week was because he didn't blame, complain, or defend. He just went out there, and I believe, Bob, he had 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Yes.
Right? I mean, Arizona absolutely was dominating that game. Kyle Murray was also putting him on the button, right? So one of them was kind of like roll out to his right, and he kind of ran like an over route, boom, then took it vertical. Great catch, and then dived in the end zone. The other one was a toe tapper in the back. But again, like you're just kind of seeing these guys, they're all out there making an impact, and they're all very, very young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, that goes into like when recruits come into Ohio State, and I happen to be there during the spring, and they're like talking about other colleges. And I'm like, listen, man, here's the deal, right? Where are you going to get developed? Because when you go
over here, look at all that.
Because here's the thing, and you know this, Bob, when you get to the league, you're a pro, right? That's the expectation. Guys think that they've already arrived. No, we still have to educate them how to take care of their bodies. Not everybody's coming from the Ohio States and the Georgias and the Alabamas where they have a lot of stuff, right? Guys have to still come in and be educated how to recover, how to educate how to be a pro. Like these guys are pro ready when they leave Ohio State. And what you're seeing here is a huge testament to Brian Hartline and the development that he's done here at Ohio State and why he's such a successful recruiter of the elites of the elites.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Hart has been absolutely fantastic. And like you said, people want to go and they want to be trained. They want to be in highly competitive situations and go out there and make big plays. And so like you said, such like Juicy J, every time you go out, you want to show out. Tremendous there. Another great story that came out about former Washington receiver Jalen McMillan. And this is what you love. You love when people are getting involved and getting juiced up in some things. And, he's playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think we have that. We can throw it up there if we want to show a little bit of the OH. So he burns former Michigan defensive back for a touchdown, Schlegs. You know what he does? He throws up the OH in the end zone. It's absolutely gorgeous when you see it. You love the trolling that goes on in college football. This is why you come to these games. This is why you watch them. The game it's different than the NFL, but the passion and the subtleness. And so like when those guys take that to the next level and take it to the league, a guy that didn't even play for the Bucs but said, hey, you know what? You played for a team up north. I'm going to dump this on you. Go Buckeyes.
Yeah. Didn't he play at Washington?
Yeah. He played at Washington.
Yeah. No doubt, man. So it's like, bump those guys, OHIO. And I love the comments right there on the screen. Honorary Buckeye for a week, 100%. And hey, and how about this? Like Baker Mayfield's been putting on a clinic down there, like doing a great job. And like as a fan, like you like seeing the maturity and people like having success and going to different teams. And we've seen it recently here with Kyle McCord going somewhere else. Like, hey man, got a new start, new fit, doing well, awesome. But that was a great troll there, right there in the end zone. OH, man. I owe back to you, brother.
Yeah, it was a fantastic job. And then the last one, I want you, because you know Kevin pretty well, and we'll get to this and the stuff going on with Kevin Wilson going on Football Scoop. They talked about this. Like, everybody's trying to get these jobs. Like, and so you're a GA, you're an assistant, whatever it is. Like, if you're a GA somewhere, you want to get a full-time staff position Schlegs at like a big time school. If you're a full-time staffer, position coach, you want to go be a coordinator. If you're a coordinator, you want to be a head coach. And like, you want to try to move on, and you want the biggest job you can possibly get. But the irony is, like, you've got some of these guys who've been playing forever, like, and they're trying to move on, like, and they're not moving on. And you're not going to go to Notre Dame. Like, you're not going to be there. And I thought it was pretty funny that Kevin Wilson wasn't soft serving any of that.
No, I mean, hey, Coach Wilson's going to say it straight. I mean, and again, it's, you got a quarterback in Bowman on a 7th year of college football playing against a freshman going into like his 2nd game. You know what I mean? It's like something like that, right? Or 3rd game or whatever the case may be. But, you know, also it serves true to the point of his GAs and other guys that are like, guess what? Just go coach. D1 might not be where you're at. And again, we know the business, Bob. The business is about who you know, just as much about how much you know. And the way to like be able to prove yourself is to go out there and coach. Yeah, you want the Notre Dame job. Yeah, you want to go do this. And your brother's experienced it too. And like in both sides, because one was a coach, one was a strength coach, right? And guys, you go somewhere, you get an opportunity, your first job, and especially as the strength coach, you ain't making nothing. Like outside of like the big schools, like you're not making anything. So you go do that job, you work your absolute face off, poof, David Copperfield, everybody gets fired. Now where do I go? Now how do I hop on and be the 5th? And now I got to move, right? So again, his point is well taken for a variety of different reasons, especially in college football. But, you know, you just got to go work at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go get in, put in that work, Schlegs, get all that done, and make sure you take care of it. Well, that is Headlines Today, brought to you by my friends over at Affinity Whole Health. Check them out at affinityWholeHealth.com. Set up your free consultation. All right, coming next, we got a little tailgate talk.
I love it.
It's devastating. There was one of the coolest things that I saw, though. You loved Waffle House. Well, someone was Waffle House ready. Next on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Building a home for the people who are worth it. Stepping out, throwing in a line, and dropping the tailgate for a picnic. And finding far-off campsites with the people you're closest to. Upgrade your truck, Jeep, or Bronco with over 1 million parts and accessories. And bring your truck to life. Real Truck.
All right, Schlegs, I want to tell you, Tailgate Talk brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck, the #1 truck accessory brand in the United States. That's the US of A, with top selling upgrades for the ultimate tailgate party. Gear up for the season and bring your truck to life at realtruck.com. Just like we have. Schlegs, you're out running around doing stuff outside the farm. We know you had your truck out, getting it all going with all your sweet Real Truck accessories, getting it taken care of there. Got my Jeep with the sweet bumper on it, get the winch, pull some trees down, do all that awesome stuff. What'd you do with the Real Truck this weekend? Anything serious?
Yeah, I pull out stumps. I got a winch on there. I just like moving stuff around. It's like, oh, I'm gonna use my truck for this, or I'm gonna go, you know, I got protein eaters in like my sanctuary areas.
Yeah.
Boom, I take them out there because I like it, because I just lean the ladder up, climb up, boom, dumping stuff. Anyways, I use honestly, my favorite accessory on my truck besides my 4-play rims or play 4 rims and tires is my amp step to get in the bed, because I'm back and forth all the time. So
I mean, that's I thought that you were tougher than that. I thought you'd be a full leg up guy. I mean, the amp step, that's like my dad.
My truck sits a little bit higher too, and I'm still working on my hip mobility here, Bob.
That's true. You do have the stiff hips. All right. You always talk about being Waffle House ready in the chat all the time. We always get conversation. We always get questions. What does it mean to be Waffle House ready? Because it kind of elevated from gas station ready. And I told someone, have you ever been on Waffle House at 2 o'clock in the morning? You have no idea the type of folks that are coming in. You know you're going in there to get some food, but there's a lot of people, all walks of life. You could be worth $1 billion. You might have 50 cents in your pocket. You're going into Waffle House because that's what's open when you want some sweet breakfast late at night. And so with that, there's sometimes some folks in there that may be overserved. Maybe they're the influence. Maybe they're wandering around. Maybe they want to fight. Maybe they want to go in the back and they want to try to make their own waffle schlegs, which isn't allowed. And we know that. But the CEO of Waffle House passed. You got to be ready for that fight at all times. Always ready to go at the Waffle House. The CEO of Waffle House passed away this week. And this is amazing. High school dude, loves Waffle House so much. I guess the number one offensive line recruit in the country, Jackson Cartwell. Well, how's he going to lead his team onto the field, Schlegs? He's going to lead his team onto the field carrying a sweet Waffle House flag and making sure that he's repping the brand the way that he needs to.
Yeah, I will go into this. So Josh Bryant, good friend of mine back from the Metroflex days, he started Jailhouse Strong, gas station ready, Waffle House ready. I think that would be a great segment to talk and articulate about what do those actually mean, Bob. But I would say this. One, when I saw this, I said, hell yeah. Two, made me think of an All-American. That's the breakfast I get at a waffle. And next time I go, yes, I will pour another fifth of syrup on there for the CEO. That being said, I love that he did this. Where can I get a flag? But it just goes to show you got to love your offensive lineman. For him to lead his team out with a Waffle House flag, he's definitely Waffle House ready.
Oh, they're tremendous. Like that. That's great. And I mean, Schlegs, like you said, on a bye week Saturday night, that'd have been a perfect time for me to end up at some Waffle House. You know, go out, get after a little bit. You know, what do we want to do? You know, hop in an Uber. Let's go to the Waffle House.
Guys, dude, I remember back in Texas, right? Like this is like less than 2010, right? So like 2007 to 2010, I used to go hog hunting like super, super late at night because it was super hot in Texas. You had to go late at night. And we kill about 10 pigs with dogs and a knife. Guess what? There's nothing out there in the middle of the woods. Boom, Waffle House. Guess what? We're pulling over. You got dead pigs all in the back. What do? You walk in there like, hey, I'll take an All-American extra waffle. I'm pounding it, man. Like I've been hunting my face off for like 5 hours, carrying pigs out of there. They're like, what have you guys been doing? And literally, this is Texas, man. Like I got blood all over me. I got mud all over me. I still got my knife on my side. And they're like, oh man, we've been hog dogging. They're like, you got any back there? I'm like, hell yeah, boom. Now I got all the chefs out there. Like we're all in the parking lot standing around. Like, can I get some of that? Sure, no problem. Boom, head off. Here's a pig, right? Then you go back in, wash your hands a little.
You would give the pig to the
or a hind quarter or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we used to do homeless outreaches with them too. Like
these are the servers. These are the chefs. I love it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they already had the bags and stuff ready. They got ice back there. Like this, we're ready to go. It was fantastic. And then you just go in there, extra crispy bacon, 2 waffles, scrambled eggs, hash browns. I left them alone. Sometimes I put some jalapenos in there when I really want to spice it up. It's amazing.
All right. Final break. Parting thoughts when we get back.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the program. Schlegs, your parting thoughts before we get out of here on this bye week, improvement week.
Just watching football this weekend. Here's the deal. Lathan touched on it. Fundamentals win, discipline wins, running the football, controlling the line of scrimmage wins. Focus on the little things and play fast, hard, and violent, Bob.
It was amazing how much bad ball was out there. You know, some in college, a lot more in the NFL. Like I was blown away by just how many terrible mistakes are made. Guys trying to lose games. Will Levis throwing underhand passes like he did the week before. So what's the difference between Will Howard and Will Levis? Will Howard did that one time, said never again. Will Levis said, hey, hold my beer. Let me double down on this terrible mistake I made the week before and cost my team again. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for staying locked in here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.